تتكلم عربي. Well, if you're wondering what I just said, our next guest may be able to help.
Growl Media develops state-of-the-art apps to help children learn languages. The Dubai-based developer Z's Alif is presently #1 in iTunes UAE store and 7 other Middle Eastern countries. Well, joining us now in the studio to tell us much more is Dinesh Lalvani, the founder and CEO of Growl Media. Dinesh, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, fantastic app. Tell us about it. How did the idea for this come about?
Well, we've always wanted to create an app for the, which represented Arabia in a very positive light. And the idea for coming up with a character like Z came about because we wanted to create something very contemporary, something fun. And Z is basically this explorer. She loves traveling. Her role model is Ibn Battuta. So we use that as a way of kind of exploring. And the first app we released is Z's Alif, where she travels the world and explores the Arabic alphabet.
I mean, so it's very much character focused, but I'm curious, in terms of a teaching tool, how effective are apps? I mean, I guess what results have you seen?
I think they're really effective, especially if you're an adult. I think one of the best things that you have is you can actually time shift your learning. So you can be on a metro, waiting for an appointment, you can load up an app, actually learn a subject matter. But for kids, it's actually really important at this particular age, which we target, which is the ages 1 to 6. And they're just really, their brains are just like sponges. They just absorb everything and they're really excited. And studies have shown that children who come from multilingual households have far better cognitive skills, far better multitasking skills than children from single lingual households. So it's really important that we catch them at this stage. And more importantly, like while our apps are driven by language and culture, we also touch upon all the various different curriculum topics because we have a very holistic approach. So it's about numeracy, it's about visual spatial awareness, cognitive skills. So we make sure we build on all these key building blocks for students.
Absolutely, really engaging them at that age. Now the graphics on it are beautiful. I know your graphic designers used to be at Disney, pretty impressive. Can you give us a demonstration? How exactly does it work?
I mean, it's a very collaborative process and we kind of split all around the world. I do sketch myself as well, so I come up with the storyboards and we work with the creative director and we have storytellers in our office and play designers.
Can you show it a little what it looks like?
So when you start the app off, you get Z and you can immediately tell she is the explorer. She has these Amelia Earhart kind of goggles. And the navigation is actually built upon the concept of traveling. So as you scroll through, you'll notice all the key landmarks in the background.
Of course.
Yep, of course, you can't have.
All right.
And each of these characters actually corresponds to an Arabic alphabet. So starting with the Alif for Arnab, and it goes all the way down to Ya.
Oh, there's the rabbit on the end there, very nice.
Exactly. And so for example, you have the Harbat, chameleon.
Okay.
And what's important is the way we've designed these characters, so each one corresponds to that particular Arabic alphabet. And then Z comes by, scatters up the whole thing, and you got to then put all the pieces back in. And
so this is part of the spatial awareness that you were talking about,
and
right?
this is a key building block of the app. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of
You're pretty good at the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
You have so
almost there.
Does this put you on a a 2-year-old level, 3-year-old level?
I'm getting good at this. But what's important, you notice how it completely morphs back into the actual alphabet.
Fine.
And then we reveal the word, and it's English and the phonetic equivalent because we firmly believe that co-viewing is an important part of our apps. We don't want parents to be lazy parents and just hand over an iPad. So we make sure that they're also part of the process.
I mean, I guess the question is, if I want to get this app, how is it available? Where is it available? I mean, we mentioned in the intro that it is one of the #1 apps in UAE iTunes store. Tell us more about that.
It's available on the iTunes store, and we are going to be releasing on other platforms as well.
And it's free, right?
It's completely free, so you can please go ahead, download it, and we're, like you said, we're #1 actually 13 countries for 3 weeks actually, and we're still #1 in UAE. So it's fantastic.
So how do you monetize something like this then? If it is free, are all of your apps going to be free, or how do you make this work?
Well, at least for the foreseeable future. Z, and we have another character, Alfie, who is for the Indian subcontinent. And both these characters, we just don't want to put any obstacles in the way. We want to make them free, get as many people downloading and experiencing our characters. And luckily for me, I have investors who have a very long-term horizon, so we're not really in it for a short-term gain.
So there's a bit of a brand awareness that you're getting.
Brand awareness. Exactly.
What kind of conversations are you having with schools in terms of getting this into schools?
It's been fantastic. One of the things we do really actively at Growl is we have a grassroots movement where we go from school to school and nurseries, kind of like how the Gruffalows did it in the UK. And what we do is we get to teach them on the interactive whiteboards, our app, so the teachers are part of it, you know, the parents, and of course the children themselves actually experience it. And we take all of that all that feedback into our development. And I think one of the hardest challenges for us is to get the children excited about it. You know, and they're not the most diplomatic of, you know, people. So if they don't like something,
Pretty
they'll tell you,
feedback.
they're like, not happening. So we go back to the drawing board, revisit it, and try to, you know, make a better product.
So what kind of feedback have you had with this?
Oh, it's been overwhelming, really. If you think about it, our first app, which was the Alfie series, launched mid-July, and we're.
And where was that targeted to?
And that was also targeted to the Indian subcontinent.
Okay.
It was
So
a
this
Hindi
is the second app you've had,
so
right?
Z was for Arabia, and in the space of roughly 6 months, we've crossed 200,000 downloads.
Wow.
Very impressive.
Been #1 in 13 countries, and even even Apple has featured us. They really like what we did, and they featured us on the top tabs on the kids section and the best of kids category across our region. So
well, congratulations are certainly in order. I mean, it looks like a fantastic app, and you know, I'm sure to recommend it to all of the 1 to 6-year-olds that I know.
Downloading it tonight for my little man.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.